All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are unpacking the sprawling, highly polarized, and frankly fascinating life of the world's most influential billionaire. Because by 2026, Elon Musk hasn't just evolved. He's completely transformed from a disruptive tech entrepreneur into a global political and economic force. Honestly, it's unlike anything we've seen in modern history.
To really wrap our heads around his scale today, we have to start with this staggering number: $835 billion. That is Forbes' estimate of his net worth as of June 2026. He isn't just the wealthiest person on the planet right now. He commands a level of personal capital that literally rivals the entire gross domestic product of many nations. It's almost hard to comprehend.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down today. First, we'll look at the $800 billion man himself. Then, we'll trace how he built this massive tech empire, followed by his takeover of X and AI. After that, we'll explore his recent political pivot, and finally, we'll tackle the controversies and his current public image.
All right, Section 1, the $800 billion man. Let's get into it.
What's absolutely wild here is the explosive recent growth. I mean, look at this. He was sitting at $300 billion back in 2021. But then, fast forward to 2026, and boom! This massive surge was fueled heavily by a rising Tesla stock price and, crucially, an unprecedented $1 trillion pay package approved by Tesla in late 2025. So, why does this matter to us? Well, wealth at this astronomical level translates directly into power. The power to shape global markets and infrastructure without the traditional oversight we're used to.
Moving right along to Section 2, Building a Tech Empire.
So you might be wondering, how exactly did a Canadian immigrant from South Africa build the foundation for all this? Well, arriving in North America as a student, he hit the ground running. He co-founded Zip2 in 1995 and then X.com in 1999, which, you probably know, later became PayPal. Selling PayPal gave him the critical cash injection to found SpaceX in 2002, and then he became a major early investor in Tesla in 2004. He literally went from near bankruptcy during those early, failing rocket tests to fundamentally revolutionizing both the space and automotive industries in just a handful of years. Now, the crucial takeaway here is the sheer breadth of his current empire. He is operating simultaneously across aerospace, electric vehicles, neurotechnology, and infrastructure. And here's the kicker. He isn't just some passive investor hanging out in the background. He actively holds titles like CEO, founder, or chief engineer across almost all of them. It's an insane concentration of industry influence. It basically gives one single person incredible leverage over how humanity travels, communicates, and even interacts with machines.
That brings us to Section 3, taking over X and AI.
By the 2020s, his ambitions expanded way beyond just hardware. He wanted to control global communication itself. He methodically moved to acquire Twitter for $44 billion in late 2022. But he didn't just buy it to keep the lights on, right? He completely upended its culture and operations. He rebranded the whole platform to X/the staff and significantly lessened content moderation to align with his specific views on free speech. And by doing that, he unilaterally reshaped how millions of people around the world consume breaking news and political discourse.
And he was making parallel moves in artificial intelligence, too. After initially co-founding OpenAI back in 2015 for safe AI research and later leaving, his growing frustration with the direction of the AI industry led him to pivot hard. He launched his own company, XAI, in 2023. Then, by 2025, he rolled out Grokopedia, using his own AI model to generate an alternative online encyclopedia. What you really need to take away from this is his deliberate strategy. He's building parallel technological ecosystems so he can fully control his own narrative and heavily influence the future flow of global information. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, the political pivot. Right around 2024, Musk's public persona shifted dramatically. He went from a self-described moderate to engaging in highly partisan global politics. In July of that year, he officially endorsed Donald Trump and actually became the largest individual donor of the entire election cycle. Following Trump's victory, Musk was appointed to a high-level government advisory role in January 2025. But, well, things fractured pretty quickly. By May 2025, after a very public feud over policies, Musk made a rapid and highly publicized exit from the administration. During that brief political window, his main project was DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. As a special government employee, he led this brand new organization with a mandate to ruthlessly cut the federal budget. He basically applied his corporate playbook directly to the government. He prioritized secrecy and initiated mass federal layoffs. As you might expect, this sparked massive public backlash from watchdogs and workers right up until his exit in May. It was this deeply polarizing experiment in applying harsh corporate efficiency to public infrastructure, testing the absolute boundaries of how much influence a private citizen can exert over established civic institutions.
But his geopolitical footprint expanded way beyond the US. He frequently used X to clash with international leaders and support global right-wing movements. For instance, he tangled with the UK Prime Minister over policing during the 2024 riots. He supported Germany's far-right AfD party, and he openly called the Spanish Prime Minister a tyrant over social media bans. Essentially, he's operating as a sort of rogue digital diplomat, utilizing his privately owned platform to exert direct international pressure and just completely bypass traditional statecraft.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, Controversies and Public Image.
To truly understand where his profile sits in 2026, we have to look at the intense polarization surrounding his personal life. In January 2026, the release of the Jeffrey Epstein emails brought a wave of new scrutiny. The files showed cordial exchanges between the two about island parties. In one message, Epstein worried about the gender ratio making Musk's then-wife uncomfortable, and Musk replied, "Ratio is not a problem for Tallulah." Now, Musk firmly denies any close relationship with Epstein, and to be absolutely clear, there's no evidence he ever visited the island. But still, the correspondence itself fueled massive public debate and definitely cast a long shadow over his public image.
Another deeply polarizing moment happened at the January 2025 presidential inauguration. Musk made an arm gesture that was widely condemned by international observers as a fascist salute. Now, Musk completely dismissed the accusations of Nazi sympathies. He called them dirty tricks and a tired attack. However, the international fallout from this was severe, with multiple European political parties actually demanding he be banned from entering their countries. This really showcases how his personal actions now carry very real, tangible geopolitical consequences.
Adding a rather surprising factual beat to his highly scrutinized personal life, we have the number 14. That is the number of his publicly known children across multiple partners. This huge family size is a direct reflection of his highly vocal pro-natalist views. He stated over and over again his belief that population decline, not overpopulation, is actually the single biggest threat to the future of human civilization.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a pivotal question to chew on. From launching rockets to Mars, to controlling the digital town square, to directly clashing with world leaders. What happens when one single individual holds this much centralized power? Elon Musk isn't just a CEO anymore. It's like he's become a geopolitical entity unto himself. Thank you so much for joining me as we mapped out this sprawling story through the source material today. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.